folks. The next part of the program is actually a panel discussion, which is going to be facilitated by our very own Andy. It's on becoming a professional builder. Now we've got 3 members who are going to be joining Andy as part of the facilitation. So we've got Ryan Stannard. Ryan is the owner of Stannard Family Homes and a leader in the residential construction in Adelaide. Also got Kieran Moore, who's the owner of CKS Projects, which is a residential construction company based in Illawarra, and also Norm Wales. Norm is the owner of Norm Wales Construction, a building company based out of Bundaberg. So I'm going to call you gentlemen up on the stage. Please give them a big round of applause, make them feel welcome. There's a panel discussion on becoming a professional builder.
So just to give you guys a little bit of background, before we get into talking to these 3 good-looking young men, we had a discussion, Russ, Guy and myself, about 5 years ago about the common waypoints, the common steps that successful builders were navigating all over the world. And we thought it'd be a good idea to put those into a structure that we could then use, certainly within our business coaching and our elite mentoring program, to move people sequentially through those things to make sure that it was safe, it was secure, and it was sustainable, which are the 3 things I'm sure you know we always look at. We're not going to put them up necessarily. They're available on the APB website if you want to go and read them individually. But the journey basically starts with making sure that the building company is trading profitably, it's not in liquidation, and it's not a Ponzi scheme. And once we've got that sorted out, that we know we've got a profitable building company, we then start building the marketing assets. We work through starting to invest in advertising to make sure that we've got a solid pipeline. Once that pipeline is working, we get into really looking at margins, gross margin first. Once gross margin is sorted, then into net margin. Once that's all in place, we then move to getting the sales process that has delivered those margins locked in and documented. We then document the rest of the business, start to build some reserves to make sure that everybody is comfortable, and then at that point, scale the business to what we regard as a professional building business. That definition has 3 elements to it. The builder is doing at least $10 million per annum in revenue. They're producing at least 10% net profit, and they are drawing as an owner's remuneration package at least $500,000 a year. And at that point, they are certified as a professional builder. So that is the journey that these levels are set up to take everybody through. Ryan, Norm, and Kieran have been and are on that journey in various stages. So basically what we're going to do is just talk about what that journey has actually been like for them as they've progressed through it. So thank you very much for giving us your afternoon. So if I asked this just generally to the 3 of you, he said, can the 3 of you just very quickly describe where you're at in the process and what that journey has been like so far? Maybe, Kieran, starting with you.
Yep. So I'm on currently level 6 on the journey. So just past the halfway point, which is net margins. So it's a good place to be. I'm working towards level 7, which has actually been submitted under review. Hopefully I get level 7 soon, which is having a sales manual in place. The journey for me has been a game changer, honestly. The way that the levels are structured, when I first joined APB 2 years ago, none of it really made sense to me, And but as I worked through the levels in systematical order, it really starts to make sense that starting at level 1, you really need to understand your financials. You've got to have your financials, what your true financial position is. And I didn't know that, to be honest. I was sort of, just in the dark. So then, that's where I started and worked through financials, and then, then start building on your marketing assets. That was important, obviously, to get more leads and sales in. And then from there, which was level 3, I believe was...
Website.
Website, yeah. Building a really good website that is basically a 24/7 marketing machine. So worked through that with the guidance of APB, following their systems, and it's worked out really well. The leads started coming through, filling up the pipeline. So then you start looking at your gross margins and your net profit margins and honing those in and getting them where the industry benchmarks are. And I've managed to do that, and things are looking up. So it's been a good journey so far.
Awesome. Norm, what's it been like for you?
Yeah, look, for myself, we've been around the APB for quite a long time now, and I guess when it comes into levels, the levels only came into things, you said 5 years ago, so there wasn't levels, I guess, when we first started things there. When it comes down to where I'm situated with the level situation, well, I guess I'm a scratch away from a 10. It's a 9.3, I think we're saying?
9.7.
No, but look, the level side of things there wasn't something that was really brought to my attention, and I guess in the early stages, and once they did sort of come to our attention and you started focusing on things a little bit more refined, you started looking at what was the biggest bottleneck, I guess, in your construction business at that time. And then from there, you just picked on one little thing and kept on chipping away at it. And I guess over time, that's where everything started compounding together. So, and for myself there, that journey, like Kieran just said, it's invaluable. It's fantastic. The things we've learnt, and once you consistently continue to implement that there, it definitely starts speaking for itself there, and we definitely start seeing the results there. When it comes down to gross margins and net profits and stuff like that, being able to sort of see that and track that, there's a lot of power that you can sort of take from that there to sort of set you up and the plan ahead. So, things have been really good.
Awesome. Ryan?
For myself, which is probably a lot of the people sitting in this room, when I first looked at the professional builders, I thought that's an absolute joke. No one's ever going to achieve that. So when I was awarded to be the first ever level 10 builder and certified professional builder, it was a massive feat for us. It was something that I worked towards for a good couple of years, I reckon. I said, I'm going to do this. And I reckon it was the first retreat. I said, I'm going to come back to the next retreat and I'm going to be a certified professional builder. And it took the whole team working on these things for a whole year, flat out, to get the level of detail that we needed to be a certified professional builder. And it was fighting with net profit and gross profit was a huge part of it. I would get, because obviously people that have been around the APB a while would understand the S curve, right? So a lot of the time when your gross profit's where it needs to be, your net profit's down because you're getting starved, and then vice versa on your way through the curve. So it's finding that sweet spot where everything literally aligns and everything's happening to get it to happen. So but to be honest with you, when me and my daughter Erin stood up it was in Hawaii, wasn't it? Yeah, in Hawaii, and got the certified professional builder. That little trophy takes prize position in our office. So I'm actually getting a bit teary thinking about it.
We both got quite teary the night you got it. I remember.
Yeah, it's such a big.
Can you imagine this one tearing up?
So
very interesting.
Yeah.
Okay. Norm, what processes and systems do you believe have been most crucial in helping you achieve the profitability that you have?
Yeah, look, for ourselves there, I don't believe there's just one process that sort of sets everything apart. It's a matter of putting multiple things together. But the biggest thing, I guess, what I enjoy is being able to have everything sort of structured that you can see it at a snapshot in time, like with your spreadsheets and bits and pieces that we have, KPIs and that. But doing our like company manual was a big one, I believe, and it's something everybody should have. I actually enjoyed it that much there because you can see the results, how you can empower your team. We've actually then taken that company manual now and I've turned it into a video manual. So like I've always said to the team, dumb it down, make it simple, work smarter, not harder. And being able to have a written manual plus then backed up by a video manual explaining everything. The power that's involved in it, like it's a really good asset, I guess, a tool that my team can go to. And we pretty much have a rule, if there's something that comes up that's not in the manual, it's soon put in place. So, yeah, definitely that's probably the biggest part there. But for me personally, I like the pricing for profit. So then like it's just a cheeky little tool that you can refer back to any time. And it's just such a good little tool to be able to check your work, make sure that you are profitable with what you're doing. So that'd be it.
Okay. Kieran, you mentioned knowing your numbers. You said that was a big part of your journey. What has that financial management process meant to you in where you've got to? Understanding that process.
Yeah, look, it's meant a lot. Knowing your numbers I think, is everything in the business. It gives you option, gives you choice. So having that clarity of what your true financial position is, doing your whipper every month, reviewing, doing a financial audit, looking at your PLs, your balance sheets. Like Norm said, like there's a whole lot of things that go into that, but having your numbers and knowing where you stand, you can really make educated decisions for the company. If you need to put more staff on, if more workload comes in, you've got the option there to put more staff on if you know the numbers. If you're not following your numbers, if you're not knowing what your true overhead position is, your fixed expenses, you might be running top heavy and you're just adding to sort of compounding the issue. So, yeah, knowing the numbers, I think, is paramount and the first thing everyone needs to do in the business.
And just for everybody to understand, before you came to the APB, before you started to work through this process, would you have said you were good with numbers?
I always consider myself a bit of a numbers man, but I was brought down to reality real fast. I think I just like looking at the bank balance, that's all. And that's pretty much what I was doing, I was looking at the bank account and saying, wow, okay, there's money in there, we must be doing something right.
Yeah.
But how wrong I was. I truly didn't understand. And one thing that joining the APB was also great is knowing what the industry benchmarks were. I honestly didn't know. I didn't know what net profit margin, what the industry benchmark was for a residential building company, or your gross profit margins, or your fixed expenses. So knowing them and being able to work towards being in those percentages and ratios has been a game changer for me. Yeah.
Fantastic. Okay. Ryan, if we talk about, you've got some of your team here. I've obviously met most of your team. If we talk about building your team and the structure that you've put in place at Stannard Family Homes, what role has that played in, one, the success of the company, and secondly, your personal work-life balance?
Yeah, so with the staff side of things, the creating the systems in the business has been absolute game changer. So there's not one thing that happens in our business, and these guys will vouch for it, that's not written in. Well, we use System Hub, and I think we're going to hear from David tomorrow. It's all written in System Hub, and then as soon as anything changes, we go straight to that manual and we update it so that everyone knows exactly what's expected of them all the time. But what that's been able to create for me is I don't need to be at work anymore. I'm not in the office at all. I'm in the office a couple of hours, or 1 day a week at the moment. I'm in the office. I've just got back. I was away in my caravan for 5.5 weeks.
Sorry, what did you say? You were away on holiday
Yeah.
for 5.5 weeks.
Yeah, I was away. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, well, I was away for 5.5 weeks. In my caravan with the family. The business still runs. So yeah, I've taken on a whole heap of work. 200 k's away from Adelaide was where I holiday. I've decided that I want to go and build these houses myself. So I'm supervising these houses 4 days a week. I'm in the office 1 day a week, and the business still operates and doesn't miss a beat. So yeah, but that's a credit to the team that I've got, these guys here, and also the systems that we have in place. So I can't sort of. I can't say how important the systems are. Yeah, without that, you're flying blind pretty much. Yeah. So.
And just in case anybody's confused, why are you building houses 200 k's from your office? I think their answer is because you want to.
Yeah, just because I want to. Yeah, I don't have to. I want to. It's a bit of a challenge for me. And once I get sick of it, I'll get a supervisor up there, and then they can do the work, I guess. But yeah. Okay. But I'm doing over 1,000 k's a week in the car.
Yeah.
Going, like these jobs are scattered from one end of the state to the other. It's about a 5-hour round trip to drive around my jobs, and I'm doing that because I want to.
And that's it. and
It might be crazy, but that's what's going on.
That's in your Taz, right? You drive a Taz, Toyota Taz?
No, in my Ram.
Oh, in a Ram. Yeah. Oh, right. I guess that makes it different. All right, the typical panel question, the one everybody's going to always ask you. If you could give these guys, and we'll do it just in order coming back this way. So Kieran, if you could give everybody in this room one piece of advice on how to navigate the road you've been on and the current market, what would that be?
Ooh, good question. I'd have to say mindset is, having a growth mindset is probably the biggest piece of advice I would give. It's one thing to absorb and learn all these systems and processes, but it's another to actually implement them. So you've really got to have the mindset of growth. You've got to want it. And if you have that, the sky's the limit. You could take your company as far as you want to take it, or you got to work hard to do it. But it's all about having that mindset. And they've touched on a few topics today, like surround yourself with like-minded people. Just educate, read, podcasts, whatever you're into. Just absorb as much as you can, network as much as you can, and I think you'll see how fast things will really change if you start doing those things with the positive mindset. Yep.
Awesome. Norm, what would you say?
I'd have to agree with that with Kieran. It's you've got to be a sponge, and you've got to want to learn. So I'm much the same as that, and probably a lot of us are. But the biggest bit of advice I guess I can get is, if you really want it that much, don't give up. It's not an easy gig. It's a different league. The industry that we're in, and we do get scrutinised a lot, and it's not easy. But the best thing about this is knowing you're not alone as well. If you can surround yourself with good people, good like-minded people, you can feed off each other. Like I said, like that sponge. For me, I'm really big on like Audible and stuff like that, and reading, educating yourself, and finding interest in that learning path. I think that's a really big direction that you can sort of take. But something many years ago there now, and I'm pretty sure I picked up from Audible in the early APB days there, how to eat an elephant. And it's, most of you probably know one bite at a time. And I think something that simple, it's a good way to look at things there. And 'cause there's always going to be a lot of big tasks out there that seems very overwhelming, and you think, oh, how the hell am I going to do this sort of thing? But if you sort of focus on what's more critical in your business at that time and just keep chipping away at it, you know, and have that never die attitude and not giving up, it's amazing what, you know, that hard work and where it can take you. So, yeah, just sort of sticking true to what your goals are and don't let anyone tell you can't do it. You know, if you really want it, just, you know, reach for the stars, really.
Awesome.
So,
Thank you. Ryan, that one piece of advice that's going to change everybody's life.
The guys have covered mindset, but mindset is important, but I'm a bit different. I'm going to say just follow the APB process. Simple as that. Like, literally, I battled away for years as a builder. I don't know how long I've been a member now, 7 years? Yeah, something like that. Before that, I was just muttering my way through, having a crack at it. Nearly went broke 3 or 4 times, but just, you know, worked harder to get myself through. Yeah, then found the APB. There's like literally a manual on how to create a successful building company. Why wouldn't you just follow the manual?
Yeah. Well, there you go. All right, we're going to open this up to the floor. I just want to make sure...
They didn't tell me to say that either.
No.
but I guess also to Andy, it's learning from each other as well, and that's the power of like events like this and other things that we get together. Like we all get together after these things, and you know, things are said and done, and have some good times. But there is a lot of power in that there. So it's like I sort of said, knowing that there's other people around to share that with. Don't like the old builder's mentality was, you know, we cross our arms and we're not going to share what's going on, and you were sort of by yourself. But I think if you're open to, you know, communicating and helping one another, it's only going to strengthen the whole industry in itself.
Yeah, very true. I just want to make sure I carry this with me whenever I'm in a coaching scenario. I don't know if you can all see this. I don't know if the camera can zoom in on it. It's a silver bullet. Okay. These levels are not the silver bullet. The piece the three of them have not told you is how much work they and their teams have put in to get to this point. All right? And forget it, there isn't a system in the world that'll get you there if you're not prepared to put in the actual sweat equity. I think we heard it this morning, effort. That tackle, that NFL, that football tackle that we saw where the guy ran 120 yards and took him out a yard from the line, effort. So I don't want to pretend that the levels are a silver bullet that'll do it for you. These guys have worked incredibly hard, and we have a number of the guys in our coaching and elite mentoring program in the room, all of whom are putting in the hours and the sweat to make this thing work. Now, we thought we'd open it up to you guys on the floor. I'm not going to say much. I want you to hear it from them. So if anybody's got any questions about particularly the levels and the structure and how it works, obviously stick your hand up. We'll get a mic to you and you can nominate.
Out there, this is a safe space, so whatever happens at APB stays at APB.
Thanks. That was great, guys. Thank you so much for sharing. Norm, you said you got a lot out of the audiobooks. Could you share some of your top ones that we should be listening to or reading?
Look, currently I've sort of gone off, I guess, the learning path, and the top two I've watched or listened to lately was The Tattooist and The Happiest Man on Earth. So it's a really good read, like all to do with you know, like the early war there, and it was just really inspiring books, I guess. So it just, you got to sort of find something that you have an interest in, and obviously there's a lot of learning and knowledgeable books and things out there, and it's just a matter of going through, you know, seeing what might actually be a good fit to yourself. But yeah, I do like to sort of look outside the learning path there and find like a good, you know, biography or a good read there. It's I think it's good for the mind.
Thank you.
I'll just add to that, anyone that likes podcasts, you should subscribe to The Builder's Edge. Great podcast.
I've got a question, if you don't mind. Is the MC allowed to ask questions?
Of course.
Sure. Okay. As a disgruntled finance student who aspires to become a builder, what would you suggest being the first step into getting into that space?
Just sign up with the APB.
Perfect. Good response, good response. I'm going to open up to the floor. Any further questions from the floor?
Done.
Looks like we're
Thank
done.
you very much. If there is anybody in the room, just in case, that doesn't know enough about us or would like to know more, Danny is standing at the back in the corner next to the pillar, waving at all of you. If you'd just like to know a bit more about what we do and how we do things, she'd be very happy to help you. Guys, thank you very much for the time and the input. Please give them a round of applause.
No worries at all.